Hello, fellow creatives. Welcome back to Zen and Creativity YouTube channel, your daily dose of artistic inspiration during Inktober Tangles 2023. I'm Yehudit Steinberg, your Certified Zentangle Teacher, and I'm delighted to be your guide once again. In today's episode, we dive into day 4, where our tangle prompt is Sunbelt by Jody Genovese CZT. Sunbelt falls into the ribbon and band category, and it's going to add a beautiful twist to our Inktober journey. Before we get started, don't forget to join our creative community using the link in the description below. We have exciting live Zoom sessions every Sunday this month, and I've got your beginner's guide ready to go, along with a few templates that can help you during Inktober. If you have questions or comments, feel free to drop them into the chat, and I'll be here to assist you throughout the day. Before we get started, let's review briefly the last few days, the tangles that we did. So day 1, we did Bee Light. Day 2, we did Flame Flower. Day 3, we did Caro. And today, we're going to do Sunbelt. Before we get started drawing the tangle step out, I want to talk about an important concept in Zentangle. What is a step out? Step outs are like the road maps of our tangle journey. They provide us with those crucial step-by-step instructions, guiding us one line at a time. Think of it as a way they start with the first step in red ink, then move on to the next and the next, with each new step highlighted in red, while all the previous ones are in black. By simply following along and drawing what step outs show you, you'll soon have a completed piece of artwork, whether it's small or large piece, all put together one step at a time, one after the other. During Inktober Tangles, I'll be sharing these step outs for all the patterns we explore. But why do we attach a name to the pattern step out? Well, many tangle patterns aren't new to design. You may find them in folk art, architecture, on a wall, or on pottery. What's new and requires design is the step-by-step deconstruction method, following the principles set forth by Zentangle co-founders Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. It's a courtesy to acknowledge the designer whenever possible. Now, let's dive into day 4's tangle, Sunbelt by Jody Genovese CZT. This elegant tangle falls into the ribbon and band category and is ready to shine in your Zentangle creations. The supplies that I'm going to use today are a graphite pencil. I use a mechanical one, Micron 01 and Micron 08. I'm going to have a graphite pencil for shading and a gold gel pen, and this is like a bronze that I may use. Those are the two colors that I used in these two bijou tiles that I did of Sunbelt before. So I'm going to clear these away. Okay, so here is today's step out of Sunbelt. I'm going to give you a second to take a screenshot. So feel free to do that. And now we're going to get started. Let's take a look at number 1. So this particular tangle, I found it a little bit difficult. by using the step outs that were provided. And after a few times of practicing and figuring it out, we've come up with what I consider a much easier way of putting this together. So let me guide you through this. If you are a beginner and this channel is geared towards beginners, know that this is an intermediate. This is an intermediate tangle, and we've developed a way to put it together step by step. Give me some comments on the video, and let me know how you find it and see if this way worked for you. So we're going to, it starts with a zigzag line. And what I'm going to do is what I did that really made it easier for me is I put in some guidelines that we're going to use later on to keep it even and make it look even. So I'm going to put them in a graphite. You want to leave space at the top because we're going to be doing these points, and it's going to come above this line. So this is approximately the way I did the way I did it. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I want to get it a little straighter. Then if you're a novice and a beginner, I suggest first penciling in, because I consider this like a string. And in Zentangle, our strings are in pencil. So there we go. Now, if you're working on, I'm working on a 2-inch bijou tile, and I have in the beginner's guide, I have a template, 2-inch template that you can download and copy and use for your practice. I'm going to grab my 01 and get started. Now, understand in the beginning of our drawing of a tile, you might think that your lines, it might not look exact, it might not look finished. Well, it's not finished. Basically, what we're doing is we're putting in a framework, and as we work along and towards the end, we embellish and come back and finish so that it ends up looking like this or like this. So we just completed step 1. Now in step 2, this is a very important step that we added to the framework, to this step out. And I'm going to come and do an aura line on the outside. I'm going to pull this in a little and move this over. Aura to this V, turn my tile, and come down. Notice I'm leaving a space up here. I'm not connecting this at the top. All right. Now, I forgot this step the first time I did the step out. So we did one side. You must turn your tile and do it on the underside. I turn my tile so that I can have my hand in the same place. There we go. And I'm going to take out those. And step 3, we're going to put these little triangles, we're going to attach them to the side of that outside lines that we just drew. So I come up, this is where the guideline comes in. I come up to the top. The other thing about these little triangles is that you want to leave enough space in the middle for these points to come through. So one of the first times I did this pattern, I made those triangles too big. So we're going to put them on each side, try to have them even at the top. That's why I drew that pencil line. Now I'm going to turn my tile and I'm going to draw them on the other side. And then we color them in, we ink them in. I want to mention that I don't play music in the background on my videos. I have created a playlist. It's a meditative mood playlist, 1 hour, and it's in Spotify, and the link is in the description as well. So if you're interested in having some music in the background, you can check that out. Okay, now we're going to go, now we're going to create these points. So I'm going to show. Okay. What I tend to do is I'm going to come up in the center and I'm going to give a teeny little dot. And I'm going to come I'm imagining that's there because it's coming off the page. Then I'm going to come here, try to have it about the same height. See, I'm lining them up with these triangles. Now I'm going to turn my tile again. Going to give it approximately the same height. If it's not exact, this is not perfect Zen. So now I'm going to turn this around and we're going to move on to the next step, which is we're going to come and we're going to put in some triangles. Okay. Give me a moment here. Okay, so we want to have these little diamond shapes. They're not really triangle. They're going to meet up And so it's going to come, and this line here, we're looking at the angle of that line so that we can put our diamond in there. And we're going to turn, and we're going to do the same thing. So I found this. The next step is to put a circle inside of these diamond shapes. And we're going to ink it in. So I would call this tangle a high focus tangle as well, because if you don't want to get distracted and go and make dinner and then come back and then you don't know where you are, so you want to be able to at least finish this this pattern so you don't miss a step or forget where you're at or whatever, because it definitely, in my opinion, is an intermediate pattern. I really love this pattern actually, and plan on using it in a border. I think it has a really great kind of an indigenous feel to it. Okay, so that's pretty much the pattern. And now we're going to embellish. So if we look at this step, we've completed that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to fill in the gold, and you can do what you want in these patterns. This time I had little orbs, or we call them tipples. So I put little tipples in. You can do that. I'm just going to come in and clean up this line, these lines a little bit. Also, because I had originally we had those guidelines, I want to take them out. So on this one, I think what I'm going to do to accentuate this line is I'm going to try something, because I just had this thought. So let's try it. I'm going to gel pen just one side. Now I want, when you come on Sunday, if you sign up to come to our live Zooms, bring what you've done, and let's compare some of our different, and share some of our different embellishments, because that's, and what we did with the design, that's what's interesting. And we all have different ideas and creativity, so careful to stay on the same line. I'm doing this on the outside line only, and I got a little bit on the inside. Okay, so I'm seeing this line here could use some strengthening. All right, now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my gel pen and I'm going to color that in. So let me know in the comments if the step out and the explanation work for you, or some upgrades or questions, let me know. I honestly had to do this pattern. I really had to practice. It's the first time I've really used it. A lot of these patterns are the first time. I'm learning along with you in some ways, although I'm learning ahead of you so I can show you. And I'm also having conversations with my mentor as well, and sharing notes so that I can give you a really good, simple, step-by-step. This is what we say in Zentangle, that anyone can learn, anyone can do. So I want to keep it as simple as possible for you. Your feedback helps. Please. Because I'm not a mind reader, I have no idea. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is working for you too. And if you have any upgrades, I'm definitely happy to hear. Take a look at what some of the other artists have done in on YouTube. Not Perfect Zen is a good channel for beginners as well. Kelly Blumen, she's good for beginners. Nidhi Prakash, I study mandalas with her, and I also have studied the different patterns and categories with her, so she has a great channel. Lots of creativity going on in the Zentangle community. You have to let the gel dry. I'm going to let it dry for a moment, and I'm just going to grab my jelly roll 10, and where these dots, I'm going to come in and give it a little bit of gel pen in there to stand out. All right. Well, let's see if I can outline that. That's going to be the last step. Take your time. Breathe. And then there really isn't a lot of shading that I want to do with this, but I am going to show you where I want to shade. In just a second. I'm using an 8, but yeah, I need to be careful because it's pretty thick. If I go on the side, I can get nice black. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to grab my graphite, and I'm going to give just a little line, not too heavy. Thing about graphite and shading is that it works really well when you layer it. So, well, I hope that the sound is on. I did all the checking that I did. I actually did this video once before, and somehow I didn't have sound, although it seemed to be showing that my sound meter was working, but guess what? It wasn't. So this is the second time I am doing this recording. So it's going to be up a little bit later than normal. And that's the way technology is. I'm getting used to working with a new video editor, and I plan on continuing in the long haul, so we'll just work with it. Okay, so this is what I did on the unrecorded. I should say it was recorded, but no audio. So if you haven't already joined our creative community, use the link below. And if you're enjoying these daily tutorials, consider supporting the channel with a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. And I'm on my way to a goal of 500 subscribers, and we're way over half the way there. And if you enjoy what I'm doing on this channel, please consider subscribing and giving a like. It really helps to put this video out. And tomorrow we're exploring on day 5 Nayu, and we'll be back tomorrow to draw that tangle out. Stay inspired, and I'll see you on day 5. Happy tangling.